Today, we're going to talk about a popular tactic for drawing in new readers who are going to be excited about you as a writer, and that's by writing a lead magnet that will attract them to your newsletter. We're going to define what a lead magnet actually is. We'll talk about some of the best practices for writing one, and at the end, I'll introduce an exciting new project I'm working on. Hey everybody, I'm Jane Kalmus and I am working on a new lead magnet for my newsletter. What is a lead magnet exactly? Well, it's a little freebie that you're going to give away to people as a thank you for signing up for your newsletter. So here's how my newsletter sign up page looks right now, but here's how I want it to look. I want to offer people a nice free little novella to encourage them to go ahead and sign up. These people will then become my leads because they're people I can email about future books I'm releasing, and the magnet is that freebie I'm offering to draw them in. So before I set to work on this project, I'm going to define the parameters. What does a good lead magnet look like, and how should I approach this project? The first parameter is I want to give my newsletter subscribers something complete. I have seen writers use perhaps as their lead magnet a single scene, or an alternate ending to an existing book, or maybe the first few chapters of a new novel. And I don't want to imply that these things don't have value, but I don't think you can underestimate people's desire to be entertained by that freebie that you're giving out. This lead magnet, essentially what it is a little commercial for me as a writer, okay? And it's going to be going out to everyone who signs up for my newsletter, and that's people from a lot of different groups. It's people who found me through the sign up page at the end of my book. It's people who found me through this YouTube channel, and it's people who found me through a newsletter building promo, such as those which I periodically purchase from book sweeps. So the first group is already kind of invested in me as a writer, but the second two groups aren't. And I want to give them something upfront that will really satisfy. I want to show them that I can deliver a story with a beginning that sets up interesting questions and an ending that resolves those questions in unexpected yet compelling ways. My second parameter really follows straight from this one. I want to showcase my value proposition as a writer. What do I have to give that is worth people sticking around for? Well, one thing I definitely have to showcase is my series characters. So I'm going to be using as the protagonist of this lead magnet the protagonist from my first book, The Black Rose Murders. The other things I have to offer, the things that I think I am really good at, are well-constructed mysteries, romance, and humor. And I also think I'm pretty good at writing mysteries with good character arcs for the sleuth. So I'm going to try and write a novella that takes advantage of at least most of the things in this circle here. So if you want to write your own lead magnet, I suggest you do this exact same exercise. Just get out a piece of paper, write down all the things that you think you are best at as a writer. If you have series characters, they absolutely have to be on that page, but the rest of it is up to you. Are you funny? Do you write really moving internal conflict? Are you great at coming up with wild premises for stories? Whatever it is that makes you you as a writer, try to write a lead magnet that incorporates as much of it as possible. Parameter number 3 is that I want my lead magnet to be as short as it can be, given that I also need to deliver on parameters 1 and 2. Why? Well, because this lead magnet is an investment in my writing career. I'm not investing money, but I am investing time, which, as it turns out, is my number one most valuable resource. When you're making an investment, it always just makes sense to be intentional about what you're spending. So I want to keep the time I'll spend on this lead magnet kind of light by keeping the length to 20,000 words as an absolute max. Parameter number 4 is that I want my lead magnet to be independent and consequence light for my series characters. By independent, I mean that readers have to be able to enjoy my lead magnet without having read anything else I've ever written. It's going to use my series characters, but it has to use them in a standalone way. Readers can't need any additional information to understand and care about this story. But I also don't want it to be a story with no consequences. I am just turned off by stories that tell a vignette from a character's life, but don't actually show anything changing for that character. I suppose this just goes back to my desire to deliver a satisfying story with a beginning and an end. I want that end to involve a moment of personal triumph or perhaps personal devastation for my sleuth. So those are my 4 parameters for a lead magnet. It offers a complete story, it showcases what I have to offer, it's short, and it's consequential, but not so consequential that readers who miss it feel like they're missing out. So That is a lot to work into one story, but I'm going to try to make it happen. And just for fun, I think I'm going to try live streaming the planning process for it. I'm going to be doing this on Saturday, the 29th of January at 10 a.m. I'll do an hour of planning and try to show you guys how I work through all the aspects of the plot. Now, I know I've done a couple of planning videos before, and this is not going to be like that. It's going to be a lot rougher, and for me, a little more scary, because while I have the basic germ of an idea, my sleuth is trapped in a bank during a robbery. Other than that, I have nothing. So if you want to watch me plan my way through this story, it's coming up, and I hope to see some of you there.